Testing, 1, 2, 3. Everyone, while we're waiting, go ahead and grab a snack. We're going to be getting started soon. Hey, welcome in everyone. Thanks for hopping in. We're gonna get started here soon. Sup Kage, sup Brandon. Sup Maya. Welcome back. Alright, hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back to another art stream. Today, we're going to be sketching some facial expressions, working on that a little bit, just kind of having fun, goofing off a little bit, and potentially talking about AI artwork and what that means for artists and what that means for the art community. Okay, was doing a little bit of an audio check, so that's why I paused for a second, but I think we sound good. If you guys can let me know if the music is too loud or if I'm too quiet, we can kind of balance those levels out. So I am not being drowned out, or I'm, not screaming at you guys. Hopefully the screen is showing up all right. Looks like it is. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This may or may not be a short stream. We're just gonna see how the flow kind of goes, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired, but I kind of want to keep up the consistency and keep myself accountable to draw. So that's what we're going to be doing today. For anyone new here, I stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. I may be a little ahead, but most likely I'm going to be a little bit behind on schedule. But around 8 o'clock, we'll stream. We just have art conversations and we work on our stories. We work on art. We work on our comics. And we kind of just chat and have a good time. So if you are here for those kinds of vibes, make sure to like and subscribe, all that, all that good stuff. You guys already know the drill by now. YouTube has pounded that into us. But yeah, stick around for the vibes, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, and if you'd like to draw along, please draw along and share your results with me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever else. Really like seeing everyone's artwork. Audio is good. Cool. Thank you, Kage. Thank you, Brandon, for checking. And Maya, thanks for checking that out. All right. So I'm just kind of peeking into the conversation a little bit, and we haven't even started. And I already see some responses for AI art. Maya says, "I don't think AI art is real art." And Brandon says, also my stance on AI art has drastically shifted into wrath. LOL. Oh, LOL. I was uncaring for a while, but now it's maddening. Yeah, I'm gonna. I have some thoughts about it. I've had some thoughts about it for a while, and I was gonna talk about it in other streams, but I was just kind of focused on the art. And honestly, I do kind of want to put out a video on it, but I figured we could just have a very casual conversation, and I just kind of want to see where people are at and what people are feeling, whether they're kind of embracing what's coming down the pipe, or whether there's some kind of fear and concerns, worries, all that kind of thing. I want to definitely hear from you guys, but I definitely got some thoughts as well. So let me pull up some reference and let's get in here and start sketching around and just having a little bit of artistic fun while we chill here. So I'll pull up the live chat on my phone so I can see everything that's going on. I was looking for a while, but now it's maddening, as are the convos surrounding it. Complete madness. It sucks. LOL. Yeah, wow. This is, I guess, kind of a big topic, so I wonder how we'll kind of dive into it. But I think right off the bat that we have to probably establish a few things that artificially generated art. I think that we kind of need to discuss first and foremost, what does that even mean? What does AI art mean? You know what I mean? What is it actually doing? And I do not have all the information as of yet. I do know a little bit about machine learning. I think I have kind of a gist of it, so I'll explain that. But for sure, when I talk about this in seriousness, I will have all the research. But basically, AI, in quotes, art, I guess all of that should be in quotes, because artificial intelligence doesn't actually exist yet. That's kind of how all of this is being marketed, as if it's some sentient thing that's coming up with all these incredible images, but in all reality, that's not what's actually going on. That's not the actual technology that is at play. Not to say that it's not to say that it's simple. It's not necessarily simple, and it's not necessarily easy to develop these kinds of things, but I think we first need to make it clear that AI art actually isn't AI art, because there isn't a sentient thing creating art. So that's important to kind of note right off the bat. Right now, if that was the case, this would be an entirely different conversation we'd be having surrounding this topic. But in the foreseeable future, my own honest opinion is that we're not going to have artificial intelligence for quite some time. We're going to have things that are very close to human, and that's because it is mimicking human, and it's mimicking human interaction. But the actual creation of something that's sentient, I don't mean this in like a religious way, but we are not God, and we can't create that type of creation. But anyways, we'll see what actually happens in that regards on in the future. But for now, what we basically have is we have something that can do what's called machine learning. And basically what that means is that this program that they call AI is learning based on a whole bunch of data that's being fed to it, right? It's not going out and finding its own data and coming to its own conclusions or anything like that. It is being fed data, and in this case, art data from all across the internet, any art that has been digitized, any art that it can pull from, which that in of itself is cause for a lot of legal concern, because it is using images that it doesn't have copyrights to. It can't have copyrights to, and it's pulling all of those images and feeding it into this program and basically analyzing what's happening in those pictures and synthesizing. Okay, and this is just a very broad. I'm painting this picture with a broad paintbrush because I don't want to go into the specifics on how it actually learns. That algorithm is set by humans, so this thing isn't just learning on its own. A human has to set the direction for what it's supposed to learn, what it's supposed to look for, and how it does it. And it does it using thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures in order to be able to do this. And I'm now realizing, I shouldn't say now realizing, but I am realizing that it is difficult to hold conversation while being able to draw at the same time. And I should say cohesive conversation. I have conversation with you guys all the time here on stream, but when it comes to actually like digging into something that I'm not like currently drawing, something that's outside of that, it gets a little bit challenging. So if my thoughts aren't purely cohesive, I do apologize. That's just the nature of streaming. Some of this is going to feel a little bit like a rant, like I'm rambling, and I apologize, but that's just what I can do on stream. So anyways, we have this program that's taking in tons of data and creating what they're trying to push and label as art. And I think at the very best, what we can call this is a tool, and it's almost like an image search. This is almost like going to Google and typing in, a prompt, and then you get a search result. This is kind of like a high level version of that, a complex version of basically Google Images or Bing Images, whatever search engine that you like to use. It's just adding in more steps. It's adding in a little bit more convolution. So it is kind of arguable, and I guess we can kind of discuss this. This is the first question, is that, some people are trying to equate the process in which AI generates its art as the same way a human generates art, in that it combines a whole bunch of images and things that they've seen and creates a final product from it. Okay, so that's kind of like the first topic of conversation, is how similar and how different is artificial AI art's approach to creating art than humans. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think about that. I will go ahead and say that how humans generate artwork isn't really entirely based on reference images. Reference images is kind of like an artist's almost training ground, so to speak. Where you're learning to render what you see right in front of you, right? And I feel like that's where the similarities between AI art and humans who create art, that's where the similarities stop. Because there is an added layer to art that simply cannot be captured by a machine. That said, I'm reading through comments real quick before I jump back to the question. Let me write down this question because I'm going to forget what I even asked. But the question that I pose is the way that humans generate art, generate or create art, the same as AI? So that's the first question I'm kind of posing to you viewers out there. Going back through comments a little bit though, to kind of keep up with everyone's saying, and I'll do this periodically, so I don't leave anyone's points behind. Brandon says, that said, there are uses for it as a tool. It just shouldn't be the art, really, and most def should not be a thing one sells. Yeah, that's pretty questionable. I have some thoughts about that, and like the thoughts about it being a tool. And I want to kind of save that for later. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But it is very, very, very questionable to be selling AI generated artwork when you don't know. You absolutely have no idea what images it's been fed. To me, that is the worst kind of hole you can go down because one, you're not doing anything as an artist. You're not being selective. You're not introducing any of your own decision making. You really don't have any input in this situation, and in those cases, I personally wouldn't consider an artist if they just type in a prompt and they sell what search result they get. It's like almost selling, you type something into Google and the picture that you find, and you say, I like this picture, I'm gonna sell it. That's pretty much what you're doing, just in just a more convoluted way, right? Instead of just that one picture, the couple pictures smashed together, and then you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and sell that. You didn't have any input on what pictures were put together, and you didn't put any kind of style or any kind of thought or any kind of artistic expression behind that creation. You didn't make any creative decisions in that case. Personally, is how I feel. And I do want to highlight that this is already a huge issue with people selling art that isn't theirs. This is already a really, really, really big issue in the art community, has been for years and years and years. And this is only going to make it worse because it's now blurring the lines slightly. It's the same thing, in my personal opinion, but the line is blurred a little bit because now you're mashing more pictures together, right? Maya says, I think that AI art is fun to play around with for fun, but I don't believe that it beats man-made art. No way, Jose. And you make a great point because it actually can't. It can't beat man-made art because artificial intelligent art is derivative of human art. AI art is trained on human art, so therefore AI art can never be better. It can only be equal to or lesser than what a human can put out. Okay, and that's just base level. And I have more thoughts behind why comparing the two doesn't really make sense as either an artist or a viewer of art or someone that has experienced art. So let me go ahead and jot this down because I did want to talk about, Brandon made a good point about it being a tool. So I want to talk about AI art being a tool for artists. And what can artists do to actually make use of this? And can they make use of it? We're going to talk about that as well. Kage says AI art is going to make peeps get into NFTs. I can feel it now, which makes it so much worse, or which makes me feel so much worse about it. And that is very, very, very true. There's going to be a very big connection between AI generated art and NFTs and this new curation of digitized art world. There's going to be an uptick in that for sure because of how much investment money is going into these technologies. And that is scary and that is concerning, but I'm really hoping that people's humanity is going to win out in this case. But everything, I mean, okay, let me not get too pessimistic. We'll talk about that later. Let me not get too pessimistic. Yeah, Kagi, there's a direct and dangerous through line. Hard work, trial and error is part of art. You can't have art without a little effort. Machines are art, but machines cannot make art. I don't believe in artificial intelligence. I believe in artificial stupidity. I'm gonna need to steal that quote. That's amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh, we are not God. What I want to say to all humanity, LOL. That's what my story is about. Very cool. Very cool. I'm interested to see what kind of story you're working on. I think it is art of some kind, but they are not artists of any kind. Art is creating something original that expresses an idea. AI is just recycling. Also another really good point. it really is a certain amount of recycling, where there's no purpose behind AI. AI doesn't have an upbringing, a childhood experiences that they're drawing from, and they can't unless we give it that. And in that case, if you're going to make an artificial version of yourself, then you're essentially replacing yourself with an artificial version that doesn't actually have all the senses and all the experiences that you can have in real life, because your sensory inputs are completely different from digital inputs. And I'm an engineer, and engineering is all about basically how do you take the real world and how do you put equations to it so that we can try to simplify it and we can try to control it and have predictable outcomes. That's essentially what engineering is, and that's what I do at my job every day. So I am super comfortable with this, way of thinking and this train of thinking. And I know that's why that really bringing it into the art field, which is all about connecting with yourself and your humanity and with others and how you connect with others and all those things. I know that is directly opposite of what we are trying to do as an engineer. An engineer is all about control and predictability. And so when you have AI generated art, it's going to be controlled and there's going to be predictability because there are equations running this. And basically what it is going to be trained to do is to have one type of outcome in what it considers to be the best outcome given a certain amount of data. And so that in and of itself is super problematic, because what if the data isn't good? And this has already been kind of seen in other places, but what if the data and the pictures are extremely, let's say, racist or transphobic or whatever the case may be? The art that's going to be generated by this is going to be as good as the user, or not the user, but the creator, the inventor of this technology. So there is a huge red flag for who is creating this, because if you do not understand the parameters and the inputs, then you are being controlled to see certain outputs. And you're not going to have any control of that process. None of it. So it's going to be really hard to be an artist when you absolutely have no control of what your output is and what that data is. Okay, I'm talking a lot. Let me keep reading. There's a lot of stuff in here. And I think this conversation would be just in depth. But it makes sense. There's a lot going on here. Artist creating something original. Yeah, I think I read that. Well, the truth is in that question. The final product tends to be the emphasis for AI art, and the people who use it haphazardly. There isn't really a perceptible decision-making process. Exactly. I agree. AI are not artists. How is that even a thing? Brandon says, whereas artists live and breathe process, we may also focus on final product. But the process and emergence of self is pivotal. Exactly. And it can't be replicated. It's literally someone trying to remove the human element from the most human thing, expressing through art. Yes. And you guys already know, but I dance as well. And it's what AI art is like, it would be like me saying, okay, I like to dance and express myself, but wouldn't it be better if I actually created something for me that does all the dances for me? And I actually don't dance anymore, and look at the results of that dance that machine did, and everyone should be amazed. Like, world, look at this machine doing all these dance things. But it misses the most important part of that fact of, I want to dance because I want to dance. I want to express myself. I want to be in the process of going through that movement. It's not the end result. It's not the product. It's not people viewing it and saying, wow, that's really incredible. It's about the human experiencing the art through time. And it doesn't make sense to mimic, because the whole point of it is that it's not that you're not mimicking it, that you're doing it for yourself. And that's what life is. This is pretty much kind of like an anti-life kind of idea. And we'll talk about using AI as a tool, the pros and the cons, when we kind of get away from this idea that, AI is going to replace humans. It's not necessarily going to be the case, but there's a lot of warning signs that people should be very, very aware of in terms of the direction that society is going as a whole, because this isn't just going to apply for the arts. And actually, this is kind of like the worst case, because AI is more easy to apply to other things in society than art. Art is one of the most difficult and nonsensical to apply to. But yeah, the warning signs are here. Doesn't mean that you need to be like really scared or anything like that, but the warning signs are here. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. It's literally someone trying to remove the human element from this human thing expressing through art. And Kage says, and even if these people are adding in the human element, there's just more to it than looking at ref and making a piece. Those decisions are being taken by AI. Oh my gosh, Brandon, you have unlocked all the secrets of the universe. I've been saying, listen, Brandon is always speaking facts. Always. I love having conversations with you guys because it's always a ton of fun. It hurts me how many artists don't understand what art is, but you guys, yes. So true. The world needs to hear this. I think plenty of folk do understand, but as always, the loudest voices tend to take up the most space, and folks are loudly supporting AI stuff, which is, it's crazy to me. Honestly, it's crazy to me. Technology can't fix everything. We need to fix ourselves. Humanity is broken inside. Agreed. And that's why we use art to express ourselves, to help break free from some of the things that are negative about how we operate and how we are as a society. And that's kind of our job as artists, to look deep within ourselves and within other people and bring out the best in one another. And I agree, Maya, we do need to fix ourselves within. Right now, more than ever, humanity doesn't understand what they even are. It'll be a shiny tool, but at the end of the day, people want art that speaks to them. That's the whole point. Truth, preach it. I'm not against digital art, but I believe traditional art needs more respect and honestly a comeback. Excessive use of electronics and the internet are hurting people's minds. Well, with AI now, the conversation shifts to authenticity. You get that with traditional art automatically. Yes, and that's a very, very good point. Okay, technically AI art can be printed off, and technically, if they want to, traditional artists are not safe, because we just think about the printing industry in general. It's able to replicate, and the good news is that the printing technology does not exist to mimic how humans express ink and paint and even wax or whatever medium you choose to use. A lot of printers don't get that texture or anything like that. It's just a digital reproduction, and you can tell. But technically, if someone wanted to make the technology to do that and then use the AI generated art and print it off, then, you know, you can see where I'm going with that. I think about that one video, Hayao Miyazaki going off about AI animation a lot. That's great. I need to look that up. I don't know about that one. I hate CGI. I want more makeup and puppets and creativity. I think what gets people caught up is there is an attempt at making something perceived as impenetrable art more accessible. What gets lost is that art is already accessible. What isn't is skill. That takes time, but the more skilled you become, the more you realize that skill isn't the point. Expression is. Yes, that is so very true. The expression is truly what matters, and what you're trying to say is truly what matters. And connection. Humanity needs to accept its brokenhearted little emo self and make art, but people want too badly to be good at it or make something that just looks away. Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Also, hello, Kyla. You came in during a deep combo, lol. Yes, welcome, Kyla. I did not mean to skip over that. Hello, and welcome to the art channel. I go by Mega or the Art Messiah, but basically we just talk about art and comics. It's specifically comic creation because that's what I always wanted when I was growing up. I just never had the correct resources to kind of understand how some of this stuff came together. And so now I want to turn around and you know, just help other people, you know, that might have been in my shoes, but also to connect with artists where I'm at now, where we're just all creating comics and, you know, working on stories and things that we are passionate about. For me, this is kind of my hobby from my day job. But yeah, this is just kind of my outlet. So welcome in. You can share a little bit about your story. And it's now spent some time doing some drawing. So I'll probably take a look at that later. You guys are saying a lot of good stuff in the chat. A lot of good stuff that I want to also talk about and kind of piggyback off of. The first thing that came to mind really was what came to mind first? Sorry, I'm like. Also, today I'm focusing on drawing expressions that are very expressive, that may not look the prettiest or anything like that. The thing that I wanted to kind of talk about was AI generated art as a tool. So there is a little bit of a use case here. Like I said, with it being kind of like, you can almost think of it like a search engine, and you can technically kind of make reference really quickly. But however, there is a large downside to that, because these search results are going to be very limiting, and you are going to be missing out a lot in the research process. There's actually a lot of benefits of you either going out into the real world and finding your reference, or, you know, spending some time to make the reference yourself. There's actually a lot kind of to be said there, and there's kind of a lot to be learned there if you don't just rely on the first couple things that you get, in which case that's kind of what AI generated art will do in that case. So you're missing out on that experience of having happy accidents and coming across new things and training your eye to find what it is that you are looking for and why. But it is true that technically you'd be able to kind of use the AI generated art as, you know, maybe a baseline for some type of reference. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a pretty limiting tool because, as I mentioned before, these, you know, algorithms that are being used and the data that's pulling from, that's not being controlled by you, and you can't stop and look and see, you know, what are the pictures it's using to combine to create that final image. And that is a very important skill to have as an artist. You want to be able to understand how and why you are generating something if you want to achieve maximum kind of impact with your work. Because essentially, if you don't understand where your stuff is coming from, then, you know, you're pretty much using the voice of someone else. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your voice that's speaking what you're trying to say and what you like. That's basically allowing someone else to do a large part of the creative work for you, because people don't realize that the stuff that you take in from the world and your experience and what you choose to focus on is entirely individual, and it's up to the person, and that's what makes you you. And so relying on something else basically means that it's going to be harder to figure out who you are and what you are trying to say, and that's just going to make it harder to interact with and communicate with other humans. You know what I mean? You can have all this AI generated art, but are you going to be able to connect with and interact with and have conversations with other humans? No, because what are you going to say about your art that you created? You don't know what locations it drew inspiration from. You can't have conversations about how, you know, you combined, you know, your experience when you were hiking and you saw this really cool insect, and, you know, you're having a conversation to someone about, you know, how this art piece was even generated. And that can lead into all kinds of conversations. You know, another person might be like, well, I really like, you know, studying and researching into that one bug that really inspired, you know, this piece, and da-da-da-da-da, and they have things that they want to talk about. That's just how you build your repertoire, how you can have conversation, how you can learn what you enjoy about living in this life. And that's what this is all about. Art is kind of realizing who you are and what you enjoy doing, and you're basically almost robbing yourself of that experience. I know people just want to generate cool looking artwork, you know, especially as beginners, but again, the journey is just as important as the destination, and especially in this case. So it might feel good to kind of cheat the system in the short term and get some superficial praise on social media. But if you want to have real connection and real conversation with other people, then it's not gonna work out so well. So I feel like this is kind of moves into this next topic where, yes, people are going to be making use of this AI generated art because of how social media works and the algorithm behind social media, which rewards, what does it reward? It rewards you uploading constantly, and it rewards consistency and basically creating what's popular and what's trending. And guess what? AI art is going to be good at generating something that's popular and something that's trending. And so you're going to see, if this continues to go in the direction that it is, you're going to see a whole bunch of quote unquote artists that aren't actually artists, but want to have that validation and want to have that experience of popularity without actually having the conversation, without actually having the meaningful process and the journey and people to go along with it. So you're going to see this kind of this art culture and community kind of start to split, where you have people that are, and this is kind of already exists, right? People are kind of on social media for clout and for the likes and stuff like that. I'm not saying all artists, I'm just saying that social media has kind of conditioned a lot of us, has conditioned a lot of artists to think that way. And so that kind of level of inauthenticity, that's not a word, but basically not being authentic to yourself for the sake of validity on social media, which again, social media is a digitized form of communicating with individuals. It's a superficial way of communication. The most direct way of communication is direct communication. Even the best way to directly communicate is like over online is through like calls, but even that has a level of what is the word, I guess, kind of abstraction and superficiality, because it's being digitized. Your voice is slightly being changed, and the connection goes in and out, whatever the case may be. I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but all I'm saying is that we are climbing this ladder of basically taking ourselves away from the human connection. And I'm saying that calls is the best thing that we can possibly do in the digital age, and just talking with each other. But as you keep on going up that ladder and further and further, and the way that the algorithms are programmed, you are going to be kind of put in this box of literally only wanting to get those likes. And it's going to be more widespread before it dies down, because social media, in my opinion, is not going to have a shift. Every social media wants some more users on their site, and so they're going to focus on getting more people's attention, and the way they get more people's attention is by having people get likes and feel validated by likes. And so they're going to keep these algorithms in place, so you feel like you need to be on this churn, so you create this content so more people come onto the website to view this content and feel like they can create that content as well. And the actual content itself is not even what's important to them. That's not what's important to social media creators. What's important is just the attention span. And so everything's going to get bottlenecked and narrowed down into a very certain kind of experience, is basically what I'm trying to say. I just want to quickly say that it's crazy how just a few simple lines can completely change the facial expression. I really find it interesting. You are awesome, Brandon. Do you make videos? Because I need to follow you. So you want to hear about my story? I can share a little. What do you want to know so I know where to start? LOL. Maybe you could talk a little bit about. Just give like a quick synopsis. Basically, a quick synopsis, and then maybe how it ties into like the conversation that we're having, if you want to. But I like when artists kind of give their exciting pitch for their story, so that way other people in the chat can be like, oh yo, there's another dope artist here, let me check out their work. So yeah, you can give me a synopsis or something like that. Not on YouTube, but I be on Twitch and IG a lot. Brandon says under the name you see here. Yes, go check out Brandon. He streams a lot on IG and Twitter, and his art is fantastic. Also, he's got a I do apologize if I mess this up, Brandon, but he's got a crowdfunding thing going on. I think it's on Crowdfunder. I haven't been on the website yet, so I'm not positive, but if you like comics, if you like web comics, then check out his series. And if that's a series that interests you, consider supporting his crowdfunder, because he is printing off, I believe, his first volume for the story Autumn Wing. So check him out. Check out the links and support a local comic artist. Oh man, Mega, that expression's coming out awesome so far. That's a hard expression to capture. Thank you. I'm trying to do just really weird, random expressions. I really like expressive characters. One Piece is one of my favorite series, and I love the fact that all the characters are just so wacky and expressive. And even though there are some issues with the way he draws women sometimes, I do appreciate the fact that he will give women crazy face expressions as well, because sometimes it's like artists don't want to make a woman's face quote unquote ugly looking by giving them a crazy facial expression, but it's like, to me, that sounds so backwards and so weird. So I don't know. Anyways, I want to capture expressive faces, and so that's what I'm gonna just be practicing tonight. No spoilers, but in simple words, my protagonist was meant to be perfected. Second Christ, a neo-savior, not to redeem sinners, but to make a perfected humanity. Okay, nice. That sounds cool. I think my story is actually relevant to the topic at hand. By the way, speaking of AI, do you know how to deal with AI-generated copyright claims? YouTube mistakes my license-free background music as copyright. I'm having the same issue, Maya, and sometimes, like, I've gotten permission from artists to use their music, and I still get copyright claims, but sometimes they will just put, like, a claim or a warning, but it doesn't mean that your video is going to be taken down or is taken down. I think what it does is it alerts the person that holds the copyright, and they get to kind of decide, maybe. I need to look more into this. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. It's something I do need to look more into. So if you find out, let me know, and if I find out, I'll let you know on stream. That is an ongoing battle, Maya. Copyright claims are a constant source of pain. Same. This is really one of the most profound explanations of art I have ever heard. Humanity without everything that makes us human. Flawless and perfect, but without true beauty. That phrasing. Cheating the system, that's exactly the intent. Art is being treated as a system to subvert and defy, rather than a living, breathing, organic thing. A process. Dude, expressions in One Piece. Yeah, lol. The proportions do be, yeah. And sometimes there is diversity in the female characters, the women characters. So, like, I know he can step up, but what happens a lot for all the main female protagonists that all seem to have the same body type, and it's like, you're a really creative person. I know you can give a lot more different face variety and also body shape variety, but in all, I think character design wise, he just has a lot of diversity in his characters. I don't think enough black representation, but in general, I mean, I'm gonna hand it to him. He does actually handle a lot of different types of characters, and pretty well. Sometimes he drops the ball here and there, but for a manga artist to be hitting on so many different levels, I'm definitely gonna give him credit there. Expression is awesome. Thank you, Maya. Diverse female characters. Yeah, diverse characters of everything gender. Yeah, I agree. It's like, there's so many different people out there of all different kinds of genders, and I need to make sure I don't fall into that trap as well. The same face problem really does pop up a lot, and some of it's due to just a lack of experience, because when you're a beginner artist, you're just learning how to draw things, and even now, like, I'm still learning how to draw things. So basically what happens is that you basically figure out how to draw it some certain way, and you like the way it looks, and then you want to draw it that way for all the other times that you draw that said thing. And it is understandable. But then you have to challenge yourself to start studying different things, to expand your artistic vocabulary, so you're not stuck to just the same face. Study different jaw structures, people of different ethnicities, different weights. Yeah, just kind of study. So that's definitely something I have to, work into my story as well. I have some characters kind of set, but I definitely want to be able to draw any kind of person, because there's going to be young people, old people, all kinds of people in my story. So It's all good. I'm going to stream once Megazine. Wait, what? What is this? Kage, you out here streaming? Wait, where at? Where at? Because now I mean, I was already going to end kind of early, but now I just want to end and let someone else take up the mantle, you know what I mean? This is not a long session tonight. Also, let me see what else I've missed in the chat. You guys are blowing up the chat tonight. What is going on? Same face syndrome. I hate my worst enemy. Yeah, it's difficult, but you know, maybe spend some time just going way outside your comfort zone. And basically, when you start doing extremes, that's a good way to start, because you're basically kind of expanding your boundaries, and then you can start filling in those face shapes in between all those extremes that you're starting to explore to pull out like a whole range of characters, right? Brandon says, well, take solace in knowing that no one will ever have worse same face syndrome than Akira Toriyama. Dang. Alright. Yeah, basically it's just like change the hair and then you're supposed to know it's a different character. Oh my goodness. What else did I miss? Don't want to be... I try to avoid this with my male characters. I like dudes, so I try not to idealize them too much. Then I'd be just as bad as the guys who draw their female characters the same. I mean, like, there technically isn't anything wrong with you drawing what you like. I mean, that's a part of art as well, drawing what you like. I think where, and it's still not required in this instance, but if you're creating a story, it can be helpful to diversify your characters more. But if you're just creating original characters and stuff like that, people may have issues and may call you out or whatever the case may be. But what's most important first for art is doing what you want and doing what you like and doing what makes you happy. And then, you know, as you start exploring the depth of your world and your characters, then, you know, definitely draw things that you didn't think you would like. And there's been so many times where I'm like, man, this is going to be a pain to learn how to draw. And then it's like, I end up really enjoying it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of that way with backgrounds. I'm like, oh, there's so many details. Like, this is going to suck. But then I've been finding different approaches to simplify and have fun with it and to explore. So same thing, like coming with different faces. Just explore and have fun with it. But never really feel bad about what you like to draw. Also, I feel like shonen manga specifically is super easy to fall into same face mode with the speed at which everything gets done. That speed will force defaults. Yes, exactly. And also, manga is pretty diverse. Shonen is pretty diverse, but over the years they've kind of cultivated a certain look for manga, where I don't know if that's intentional or if artists are kind of mimicking artists that they admire, and so therefore it all kind of has a similar overall look, even though there is definitely individual and distinct styles. So that can be a part of it as well, along with the speed thing, because when you have to draw at a certain speed, you have to find shortcuts. For sure. You guys are making me realize how fun streaming is. Yeah, definitely join in on the streams. It's actually really cool, knowing more artists now, and like just bouncing around to different streams, like knowing that GG is streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays and catching Brandon whenever he's on and stuff like that. Even though I'm time limited, y'all already know that, but I really enjoy trying to catch up with everyone's streams as well, and I really do enjoy watching streams as I draw myself. So it's fun. It's a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. Okay. It's like Kage. Sorry, I missed yours though. I didn't see the notif till this morning. Followed you though. Oh my gosh, yes, I've seen an anime which I am not the most experienced. Can either have drastically different cast or characters are virtually identical. Okay, you guys are out here following each other. That's what's up. I like seeing y'all be friendly in the chat. That's what's good. I like it. It's all good. I'm going to stream when Mega's done. I'm streaming every day until Tuesday of next week. Every single day. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, good luck. Don't get burnt out. You got this. You stream or make vids or both? I will also follow you. I'll thank Brendan. I'll follow you as well. Just playing on it. Okay. I'm gonna be on Twitch, fam. Bet. Mega, you gotta catch up on chat, fam. What? I'm trying. If you're talking about the stream chat, I'm trying to keep up with the stream chat. Y'all talking too fast. This chat is awesome, lol. I'm stalling from cooking some dinner. Also, the cat's sleep in my lap and overheating me. Oh, nice. You got all y'all are animal people out here. My partner is an animal person. I grew up not having any pets, not even really being allowed to have pets. So at this point in time, like, I don't know if I would enjoy it or not enjoy it, but I also kind of think of it as like a responsibility. But I don't know. I think it would be nice. I don't know. I'm inexperienced, and so therefore I don't really have much to say or much thoughts on it. Okay, well, if that's the case, other people are streaming too. That's what's up. This is gonna be my last expression. I just want to thank everyone for coming through. This has been a vibe, been fun chatting. There's probably so much other things I could say about the topic, about AI art, but yeah, I think I am going to make kind of like a video about it, just a culmination of my thoughts. And yeah. All right, last expression. Here we go. Alright, guys. So this has been a good time streaming, a good time hanging. It's always a bop, it's always a vibe. I love the chill environment we got going on here. That's gonna be all for this week. I just kind of wanted to doodle around, nothing serious. Here's a quick look at the art that we've produced today. I did this on Monday during an art chat, and I was just messing around and doodling. Here's the first expression I did for today, the second expression, and the third expression. All kind of wacky in their own right. And I had a lot of fun with that. So hopefully you guys had fun chatting and watching. As you guys know, you can find me on Instagram and DeviantArt, and of course here. In terms of progress and stuff like that, I've been saying this I guess for weeks now, but things take time. I'm going to be starting to work on Ignition again. A lot of this stuff is like either practice or characters, so this character is from Ignition. But I've written the first arc. A few of you in this chat have given or have been beta readers, and so I really appreciate that. And now I want to do a second draft. It's not going to be a rewrite because I like a lot of the stuff that I have, but I'm going to be tightening up the story and the story structure and the conflict and the characters. Just want to take everything to the next level. And now that I've taken a break, I can see some of the things that I want to improve on. Plus, I still do have that feedback that I want to improve on as well. So be on the lookout for Ignition coming next year sometime. And again, I do art videos here, and I do streams here. Come through the vibes and for the chats as per usual. And not much else to say, but thanks, fam. Thanks everyone for coming out and joining. And until next time, stay safe, peace and love, and of course, repent for your art sins. And that is the Art Messiah out. Peace and deuces.